Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chris with this Rim, and in this video we're going to show you how to take a silhouette logo and create a vector image from that silhouette logo. So with that being said, we're just going to hop right into it. Let's go. Alright, so this is essentially the logo that we're working with right here. Essentially we have a rasterized image of a trainer for waist training, but a rasterized image. Now, if you were watching the previous video, you should already understand what the difference between rasterized and vector image, but I'm gonna give you a quick overview. So again, a rasterized image assigns pixel values that essentially, if you scale it up, they'll start to get distorted and start to look blurry and choppy. So if we scale this up, as you see, it starts to get blocky, it starts to get not as sharp. A vector image is exactly the opposite. It's based off of shape, so it doesn't assign a pixel value, it assigns a shape value, and that shape can be scaled up and down as much as you want, and it'll stay crisp around the edges. Doesn't matter how big or small you create it. So with that being said, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to create a shape version of this logo, so we'll be able to use it more versatility, and then also get a lot crisper edges when we're actually creating graphics for this brand. So with that being said, let's just get right to it, right? So essentially we just went ahead and dragged the image right into Illustrator. As you see, it's still a rasterized image, and kind of like I was saying in some of the previous other videos, do not be tricked by, you know, freelance designers who you ask them for a vector image and they drop the actual rasterized image into an actual Illustrator file just like this. This is not a vector image. It's still a rasterized image. It's still, if you scale it up, it's still going to be all blurry. Pixel is all going to be the same. So I'm going to show you exactly the difference between the two. So you're going to be able to see the difference between the two and know exactly what you are looking for. So that being said, let's continue on. So how are we going to grab this image, or how are we going to create this shape? We can do this one of two ways. I'm going to show you the simple way, the most simple way, but then I'm going to also more than likely show you the way that's a little longer, but you'll have a lot more control over. So again, you can do it either way, depending on how you want to work, right? So first we're going to do is just crop this a little bit, because we don't need all of this, right? So let's say crop it. I'll crop it somewhere in here. Not artboard. I know there's a crop in here somewhere. Oh, crop image right here. Boom. I want to crop that. We just want the part that we need. So essentially just boom. Then this is the easy way. So you just want to crop it best you can. Like so. After you crop it, you could crop it even further, you know. I would even crop it even further. Like for the head part. Because all we need is the body right there. Boom, crop that. Now we just want to create the shape from this. So essentially the easy way to do this is grab this shape. Let's do a copy and paste real quick. Actually, let's just do a new artboard. Because I want to show you all the differences. So essentially what you want to do is go in here and we are going to do an image trace. Now you can image trace with any of these here. I'm actually not used to the image trace being right here, but image trace. You can also go to like object, image trace, create. Usually it's up here. I'm gonna zoom out of it. Switch workspace. Yeah, usually it's up here. All right. Image trace. Go ahead and hit that drop down and you can select through all of these. Now we already see that it's more like a stamp or silhouette. So we just grab those silhouette looking thing, right? And it looks like it's not giving us the results we're looking for. So if it doesn't, as long as you don't hit expand, you're good. So you can just click through these until you find one that you like, right? Or find one that works. 3 colors, usually good. And you can see we're not really getting the results that Sketch is the best one so far. Let's try line art. Nope, Sketch. Logo, let's try logo. See, logo is giving us a little variation. I don't want that. Sketch. Sketch looks like it's giving us best one. Once you get one that you like, you can also tweak it as well. So if you're like, man, I just really want to get these edges a little better, you can go in here and like increase in the threshold and things like that. Like so. Like taking it all the way down, which that's not good. But you know, finding a nice balance. And the threshold is just really just trying to figure out like which part you want. And our threshold in this case, and you can hit expand when you get it to where you like, right? And once you expand it, you have your shape. So your vector shapes being like, essentially this is a shape now. All of these shapes are made up of curves or points on a curve. You see? You can pull that out. It's a shape. It's not based on a pixel. So you can, you know, edit the shapes, make this shoulder a little bigger or something like that, even though that looks crazy. But make the shoulder a little bigger, whatever the case may be. And that'll be your actual graphic, right? So that'll be your vector graphic. Now, again, you can... In comparison, when we did the threshold is saying, okay, which part is pink, which part is, or tan, or whatever this color is, and which part is black. And the threshold between the two, like the part that has like the grayish area, like which part are we going to consider selected and not? So that's how you figure out the threshold. And I think this actually did a pretty good job of pulling out that silhouette. Like, is this necessary to go in and do a full-on like version that I'm going to show you for the third one? I don't think so. I think this is good enough to get you where you need to go. But with that being said, we're going to show you the third way that you would do this, right? It's the longer way, but it is you have more control this way, right? That way you have more of the computer will try to figure out for you. You could do it that way. It's quicker. If you need a rapid turnaround, very quick to do it that way, right? We're gonna do the same exact thing. We're gonna do another artboard. All right. Now, on this third artboard, I'm gonna show you how I would do this one, right? And this is again a lot more hands-on. Actually, I'm not gonna even use a pen. I'm gonna do it real rough. I'm probably more than likely not gonna go full into it, but you'll get the gist of it, and you can go as long as you want to perfect it to the best you can, if you want, right? So first thing I like to do at least, I'm gonna create a new layer and just lock off. Make sure this layer, I can't select it or anything. All right. Now that I have this new layer, you want to grab the pen tool. Make sure you know the fill is filled in with black. And after you grab the pen tool, you zoom in by hitting Control+ or however you want to zoom. And then you just simply, just like you're drawing, go in and create the points by left clicking and create these points. If you left click, hold, and drag, you create it where you can have the curve like so. You see how that curve happens? You can create a curve. So essentially we want to create a curve there, have a hard one here, and you see, like when we try to make the curve go this way, that curve comes out because it's a smooth curve. If you need to break it, like say you have this curve like this, but you need it to be hard, you can hold down Alt or Alt on one of the angles and just pull that angle just like that, and it'll break it where one handle will go one way and the other handle will go the other way. Or you could simply do it like this, right? Do it with this up here. And you just continue along the path of the character. I'm gonna do it real rough though. When you're zoomed in, if you hold down space bar, you'll be able to move pan along the image. Now I should have just did the outline instead of the fill so I can see. I'm doing a real rough version of this. You can really get in here and tweak it and perfect it to your best ability, and I might keep this because we don't need it to be perfect. We just want something that's good enough. I want to create this shoe. That's one thing that was missing in the image is the shoe. So we're going to create the shoe here. The fact that I can't see, I'm going to just save it out. If you get to this place where you can't see, all you do is go here and click to revert from fill to stroke. And I'm going to do actually a green, something that I can see that's definitely clearly different. So I can see, and so you can see as well. Go back to the pen tool, select the last point, and then you can continue on. And I don't know why it's gray now, but gray is good enough. You can see it. And the thing is, on these, you can see like there's like little peaks and valleys. You just want to essentially go to the extreme of the peaks and valleys. Certain points like this is going to kind of change direction. You just want to flow with that change. Like so. like so. Keep going, keep going. Again, like I said, this takes a little more time, but again, you get more fidelity, more control over your results. And you can always come in here and tweak it, or you can go in and tweak the other one as well. Like, you don't have to, you can use that as a starting point and tweak it. Sometimes I just like to know, I like to place my own curves. That's just me sometimes. Like, it depends on the project. I do it both ways. Depends on the project. For this one, I would have definitely just probably deal with the auto way, but I also wouldn't have done it the auto way because the auto way doesn't have feet on it, so that kind of ruins the auto way too. Boom. All right. And this foot looks these feet look a little off. So what I'll do is just grab all of the points, pull them down. Probably just line them up like this. And just create the same thing for this part. Really just get in here. Get comfortable with just pulling and pushing. Pulling and pushing. Same thing over here. Just pull and push. Like so. And then this last little finger part. And again, you see how far I zoomed in here? Like, essentially, you want to, after you set all the points, you can go in here and actually tweak these real detailed as detailed as you want. Like so. So you can do that too. Boom. But then I was going in here to actually add this last little part here. Boom. And if you want to go in there and tweak the actual line, you might be tempted, if you're first new to Illustrator, you might be tempted to select this, and you see it'll select the curve in this fashion, but it won't allow you to select the points. So you have to select the arrow that has an all white direct select. It says direct select when you hover over direct select, and that'll allow you to select the points. So then you could go in there and select the points, right? So now with all of the points selected, let's just get rid of this layer. But now with all of the points selected, it looks like this, right? We have a shape. We have a rough shape of our character. So we can go in here now and flip it, and you see it kind of, if you want to say, swaps it out, where essentially those shapes are inside of this shape. So what you want to do is go in here, select all of it, and then do a pathfinder. If I can find it in this menu here. If you can't find it like that, you can go here, shape, no, path, no, pathfinder. Freak it. Let's go here, Windows, pathfinder. Boom, pathfinder. That's usually over here. I like to have it over here somewhere. A pathfinder. And essentially a pathfinder allows you to take two shapes and use one to cut into the other or cut out of the other. So usually I like to just do it with this this pathfinder to divide. But you can play around which ones you like, but I like to do the divide. So then after I do the divide, I can go in here and select the shapes that I don't want, and boom, they're gone. Like that. I'm gonna go back real quick, like before we did the divide, and we're just gonna show you some of the different options with the pathfinder. So you have the unite, which is gonna unite it and make one big shape. You have the minus front. So if you minus front, it'll take all the layers that are on top of it and then remove it from the back, from any layers that are under it. So we have the front that we built on top of it. And if you're having trouble like that, where you built one layer on top of the other and you need to send one to the back, to make sure it's in the back, you go to layer, arrange, send to back. And now make sure it's all the way at the back. So then you can do select everything and do the minus front, right? Intersect. Intersect. They're already overlapping, so it doesn't really make sense for this one. But you can play around with these. I'm not going to go too far into it, but you can play around with these, do more homework on it, whatever. So we're just going to select this one to do the same exact thing we did before. And we have our actual character kind of built out, but it looks a little rough on the feet and stuff like that. One thing I want to definitely do, one thing you want to do as well, is just make the same exact color. So we're going to go ahead and make it full black. Now that we can see it, we're going to make it full black. And now we have a good vector shape. Again, that these feet are kind of throwed right now. So what I'm going to do is just do a direct select and just try to clean them up a little bit, just by eyeballing it. Because remember, this was the part of the image. This is the part of the image that was not clearly defined. So it was cut off already. So we were trying to pretty much like freestyle it in a way, or make it up. So we're going to do something like that. Do something like this. I'm gonna just assume like it's at a perspective here. We're gonna make it like a perspective. We're gonna bring that toe down. This kind of looks weird. Like, what shoe looks like that actually? So we're gonna just delete one of these. It looks like these aren't connected, so we're gonna connect them. And if you're having trouble with an edge like this where one handle is showing the other one, you can just hit this convert to anchor and it'll kind of smooth it out. Then you can just grab it like that. Boom. Just like that. I feel like this is a little sharp and that toe looks a little weird. Do something like that, and bring this one up a little bit, or something. Something's off. Not sure what it is yet. We're gonna find it. I think something like that. That's cool. Boom. That's cool. Like that. Boom. So now we have a vector shape of essentially of the female. We're gonna go in here and make sure we're good with all the other shapes. Everything else looks decent. Not perfect, but it looks decent, right? Now let's just do a compare and contrast between all the three, right? All right, so we got 1, 2, 3. Number one, and we're gonna zoom it all the way in so you see. The rasterized JPEG image, again, has those pixel lines, if you can see, looks very blurry, has those pixel lines that is trying to calculate where the actual edge is in comparison to the vector one. You have a nice hard edge. You have nice hard edges there. That's how you want all of your logos to be vector. Again, the one we created, you have nice hard edges. Those are vector graphics. You can scale this up as big as you want. It doesn't even matter. You can scale this up as big as you want. And it's always going to be sharp. It's always going to be crisp. So that's what you want to keep in mind. Like, you want a vector logo to post anywhere and everywhere. Now let's compare these two, right? One, I feel, has more detail. One is a little rounded off. This one has a little more detail, and we can refine either one of them. Really, at the end of the day, we can refine either one of them to make it look better. Like, this shoulder is kind of thrown off on this one to me, so I'm gonna go in and tweak some of these. But again, I think we're not now. At minimum, we're fine tuning, and that's a good place to be. If you're fine tuning it to try to just match it a little bit, or make this character, like right now, what I'm doing is just trying to make this character look a little more feminine. By just softening up some of the edges, then boom, you can do that, like so. So again, that leg has not as much definition as this leg, but again, you could kind of take it with a grain of salt. This leg, actually, now that I'm looking at it, doesn't look too great to me. Looks like they got pants on. Let's just do something like that. Boom, I think that's good enough. That's good enough. See, this one looks blobby. This one has a little more detail, and you can go in and refine it as much as you want, right? Boom, we did that. I'm gonna go ahead and save this out. But essentially, for this video, for this recording, that's where we're gonna land this plane, right? That's where we're gonna land this plane. Those are the 3 different versions of the actual logo. So I just showed you how to essentially take a silhouette image, and create a vector version of that silhouette image. Very, very useful, very, very powerful. And if you know how to do this, then you know how to create your own vector graphics. Boom, so there it is. You got to see how to create your own vector graphics right here, right now, live in the flesh in the Creator Academy. Hopefully you found super value in that as far as what a vector graphic is, what a rasterized image is, and how to decipher the difference between the two. So when you're creating your logo for your brand, you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Or if you're creating it for yourself, you'll know exactly how to create it for yourself based off the pen tool, shapes, the anchors, and all the things that you use to create that vector graphic, and how to cut it and things like that using a pathfinder. Super, super valuable to learn how to do. Super, super valuable to know that it's even a thing. So with that being said, hopefully this inspires you to continue to do that one thing that takes you closer to your goals. Like I always say, do that one thing that takes you closer to your goals, like I always say. And with that being said, all y'all have a blessed day. Later, y'all. Peace.